that the river Euphrates is in Iraq, isn't it? The river Euphrates will uncover a mountain of gold. That's symbolism. A mountain of gold. And people will fight over it. And 99 out of every 100 will be killed. And everyone will be saying, I will be one who will be saved. Indicating that this will not be conventional warfare. Because conventional warfare does not kill 99 out of every 100. This has to be warfare involving weapons of mass destruction. And this will be a war in which no one will be certain that they would win. No one. Because nobody knows who's going to be the one to survive. But he said that the believers must not touch that gold. The believers must not touch that gold. My understanding is that this is symbolism. And no mountain of gold is going to come out of the river. But rather that the mountain of gold has already come from underneath the river. Meaning that entire basin in which the mouth of the river Euphrates is located. The Persian Gulf, the Arabs say the Arab Gulf. And it is oil. It is oil. It is sometimes called black gold. And the reason why the Prophet ﷺ referred to that oil as gold, as a mountain of gold, because it's going to be a huge quantity of oil. But the reason why he referred to it as gold is because gold's primary function is that of money. And the oil is symbolized with gold because the oil is going to function as money. While we were eating roti canai and drinking teh tarik, Henry Kissinger was at work. They knew that the war of 1973 was coming. They knew. And they were able to play both sides in that war because they had Sadat on their side. And they were able to bring a conclusion to that war that was advantageous to them, the Zionists. They knew perhaps that Faisal was going to impose an oil boycott. And they were happy. Probably they fed him with that idea. And when the oil boycott was enforced, it resulted in a 400% perhaps increase in the price of oil overnight. And within 1 week the US dollar collapsed by 400%. From 40 US dollars for 1 ounce of gold to 160 US for 1 ounce of gold. And so the Arabs opened their eyes. My gosh, our oil revenue has just increased by 400% because of the oil boycott. It was at that time that the United States sprang the trap. 2 years earlier, France, under the provisions of the International Monetary Fund, which made it obligatory for the United States to redeem dollars for gold at $35 an ounce, international law, France attempted to get some 3 billion US dollars redeemed into gold. And Nixon then tore up the agreement and said, no, we're not going to do it. We gave our word, we don't have to keep our word. We gave our word, but we don't have to keep our word. We gave our word, but we don't have to keep our word. And so the United States dollar is no longer pegged to gold at $35 an ounce. If it remains like this, any good knock and the whole thing will collapse. They need something to replace. What could it be? It was at this time when the oil boycott had caused the price of oil to triple and quadruple that Henry Kissinger made his trip to Riyadh and convinced Faisal, rahimahullah, convinced Faisal that you can make much more money with oil. You'll be selling your oil for $100 a barrel, not just $8 a barrel. And Kissinger was right. Yes, you're going to have so much money that a man would want to give zakat and he would not be able to find anybody to accept his zakat. Do you remember that hadith? All that you have to do, King Faisal, all that you have to do is to sell your oil for US dollars. That's all. Sell your oil for US dollars, that's all. And get all the other Arab oil producing countries to do the same. And then get OPEC to adopt this position. And it succeeded. The Arabs now got a windfall with dollars flowing into their pockets, huge amounts of money. And when Israel wages her wars that are coming up, the amount of money flowing to the Arab oil producers is going to climb even more and more and more. Kissinger was correct. But in the process, the US dollar is now guaranteed. It cannot fail because it is backed by oil. Since oil is the largest commodity traded in the world market, every single oil importing country in the world has to make sure that you have a large amount of reserves in US dollars to be able to buy the oil. And then from the US dollar, as the only currency with which you could buy oil, the US dollar then became the trading currency. You want to send money from Malaysia to Pakistan, you cannot send it in ringgits. No, tak boleh. Oh, why can't I send money from Malaysia to Pakistan in ringgits? What's wrong? Is the banking system so stupid? Does the banking system not have intelligent people that they can handle a transaction from ringgits to rupiah? No, you can't do that, tak boleh. You have to send the money in US dollars or something called hard currency. That's what the banking system is there for. And so, to conclude, the hadith, the prophecy in the hadith was fulfilled in 1973 when the US dollar became known as the, help me somebody, petrodollar is correct. The petrodollar for oil is now functioning as gold. Here is a remarkable example of symbolism in the hadith connected with Dajjal, which has to be